Hey, guess who's back? Back again. Jarrod's back. Tell your friends. Hey, it's the Wednesday coaching call, Motivation Nation, with Francisco, our special guest. Now, this is the weekly mastermind coaching call where I'm going to jump on and chat with you guys a little bit about what you can do to be more successful with Cardone University. Our goal isn't that just you sign up for the program and use it. Our goal is that you're actually winning with it. So this week, I am going to highlight a topic, the sales process. And, the sales process is an interesting thing. It's like the longer you are in your position or in your job, I think the less you think about it. And what can happen is over time, you start getting further and further away from, like, dude, how do I stay sharp? How do I stay focused? How do I stay directed on a path through the presentation? How do I prevent myself from just starting to aimlessly shoot from the hip, And so today I just want to kind of go back over, dude, how can you be successful in the sales process? Number one, you got to be aware of it, man. You got to be aware of it. Number two, you got to be consistent. And number three, dude, you have to execute every single time. You have to execute the same way every single time. And the reason is because it gives you a track to run on, right? It gives you a track to freaking run on so that you're thinking less about the steps of the sale and you're thinking more about, hey, what's going on with the customer? How can I close this? It's crazy to watch Grant. And before I get too far into this, I just want to let you know, if you guys want to ask questions, you can do it in the chat here. Hello, chatters. Is that a word, chatters? Hello, chatters. I just made that up. Tweet that, chatters. So if you want to chat, you can chat online. We're at grantcardonetv.com/mastermind is where the live chat is. You can call in. You can call into the studio. It's 305-865-8668. That's 305-865-8668. We have the lovely Robin. She's going to be my Robin, on Howard Stern. You're going to be my Robin. Then we have the lovely Robin on the phone waiting to take your call and get you on live to ask your question. Dude, what the purpose of this weekly call is for you to basically say, hey, what am I struggling with? What do I understand? What don't I understand about Cardone University? There's 1,600 modules in this platform on every sales challenge, every sales problem you'll run into. And a lot of times it's like, man, hey, there's so much information in there. How do I make sense of it? How do I apply it to my business? Or hey, I've got this problem that I've had and I don't know how to handle it. Dude, pick up the phone and call. That's what we're here for. We get to deal with a lot of different companies in a lot of different industries all over the world. And, look, at the end of the day, we have a lot of experience just hearing people's problems, so we can definitely help you. We want to hear from you. I got Bagheera13. I got Teddy Lim on right now. Appreciate you guys being here. Larissa Terry, Gregory Roberts, also on board here. So, dude, look, I'm ready to get started. You guys? Look, the sales process. What is your sales process? Now, we have a 5-step sales process that we promote here. And it is contained in the sales process box that you see right up there. Right up there. How do I add there? There we go. Right up there. Sales process. So we got all these different courses here. We got closing. We got prospecting, cold calling, negotiating, follow-up, internet response, personal. All these different courses in the program. Today we're just talking about that one thing right there, sales process. Okay. So there's 5 steps in the sales process. Okay. Now this is how we view the sales process. Short, simple, to the point, easy, 5 steps. Number 1, have an introduction. Number 2, you fact find and you ask questions. Number 3, you present your product. Number 4, you present your proposal. And number 5, you close. 5-step sales process. We actually call that information-based selling by Grant Cardone. So look, what are these 5 steps for you, and what questions are you asking the customer? What intro do you have? Are we having an issue here? I feel like I was on a roll. Are we good? Okay. So what are the steps in your process? What is your intro? What is your greeting? What are the questions that you ask to every customer every time? And not just questions that you ask because you want to ask them and start having a rapport or have a conversation with somebody, but dude, what questions can you ask that actually set you up? You know, what questions can you ask to identify the problem? And then from there, what follow-up questions can you ask that will actually attach your product as the solution, right? You know, in your presentation, are you doing the same thing every time? See, I mean, I'm talking about the entire sales process here. Now, we'll probably over subsequent weeks go back and kind of drill down into each one of these steps and kind of elaborate on each one. But I just want to bring some attention now to like, dude, you got a lot going on in a process, right? So we have an introduction. We have all of our fact-finding questions. We've presented the product. We're doing it the same way every time. You're moving into the proposal. Dude, you got to get people numbers every single time. Every single time you talk to a customer, they must get a proposal. They must know how much it costs. We did a big mystery shop for a massive Fortune 500 company, and we found that 63% of the time, customers were leaving without getting a proposal. Conversations were ending, interactions were ending, phone calls, emails, internet leads, in person. Dude, they weren't even getting proposal on figures. So what does that mean, dude? That means 63% of the time, they never had the opportunity to sell something. And the reason they didn't is because they didn't show them figures. Everybody has to see a proposal before they buy. And then last, the close, dude. The close is where the money's at. But are you prepared for it? Do you know what to say? See, we've got inside the sales process piece, when you go into the sales training, the training center from Cardone University, there's actually a box that says the sales process. When you click in there, it contains all the steps that we're talking about today. Okay? Dude, we've got, in the greeting, we've got, you know, probably 30 courses, how to handle objections in the greeting, the perfect thing to say to build rapport, how to actually, like, remove some of the intensity and the pressure when you first greet somebody or you're first talking to somebody for the first time. You know, when we get into fact-finding, dude, what questions can you ask that bring you closer to a sale, not take you further away from a sale? That's an interesting thing about a question. It's only going to do one of two things. It's either going to bring you closer to the sale or it's going to bring you further away from a sale. Even if you ask a question that doesn't get an ideal response, remember, it's going to pull you further away from the deal. So I got some questions coming in online here. I want to just address them real quick. Currently in the follow-up module, says Teddy, very illuminating to say the least. I'll tell you, that follow-up module is unreal. It dispels just about every false understanding that people have about what it actually takes to get somebody on the phone or in person or whatever so that you can move a deal down the road. Joseph, ciao, Jarrod, Italy's in the house. Dude, I'm going to be in Italy next week. I'm flying out Monday, man. I'm going to be in Italy for 2 weeks. Come see you when we're out there. Chaseth, what's going on, brother? Thanks for coming on. Andrew Salt, welcome to the mastermind. W. Riojas, tech team, hearing quite a bit of mic hissing and popping coming through. I think we got that fixed, though. Okay. Vicky Prince, question. Does social media work to create new business? For example, a consulting firm. Will it work? Absolutely, Vicky. Because what social media will do is it will allow you to get in front of people. It will allow you to get out of obscurity. Because right now, technically, you're using a social medium. You're using a chat on our site. I'll call that social for now. I never knew who you were. I didn't know what your name was. I don't know what you do. And now I know that Vicky Prince has a consulting firm. You got to get out of obscurity. People have to know you. If they don't know you, they can't transact with you. So you got to figure out what it is, what that brand is that you're building on social that people can come to, they can see, and they're going to be like, man, I know what Vicky does, and Vicky can help me out because Vicky does consulting for X, Y, Z. So you have to start telling a story with your social. That's probably the best way to put it. Become a resource, become valuable. How to deal with someone who says, we're going to call you when we need your services. We try to get more info, but they refuse to go further in the process. The truth is, sir, it's not your job to follow up. It's mine. So I'm going to continue to follow up with you and bring you good information, relevant information that will add value, that will bring help. And I know that someday you're going to give me a shot at doing business with you, right? I'm going to continue to show up at no cost. I'm going to show up. I'm going to continue to help you. Why? Because I care about you. I care about your business. Even if it doesn't mean I'm getting your business today, I know that someday there might be an opportunity for me to do business with you. And then you got to start putting in the work, man. You got to start putting in the work. You know, we hear stuff like this all the time. You know, hey, we'll call you. It's not your job to follow up, it's mine. And then I'm going to continue to stay in your face. What is the biggest problem? If there was one problem that I could solve for you that would actually speed that process up of you calling me, what would that process be? Or that problem be? Maximus, where is that sales process in the sales training? Log into the system, click on Training Center, and once you're in the Training Center, there's a module called the sales process. You can view it there. Jarrod says their 5-step sales process. The road to the sale has 13 steps. No. Okay, so let me clarify here. The sales process, okay, is going to go over the entire sales module. And depending on what platform you're in, it may say road to the sale, it may say sales process. But when we cover the 13 steps in the road to the sale, we're using that as an example of what most sales processes, have included at some point in time. You know, there's the greeting, there's fact-finding, rapport building, you know, a service walk, you know, trial closes. There's all this stuff. But what we did with the 5-step process is basically simplified all that. Okay? Every single sales process, no matter what you're selling, will have some type of introduction. You ask questions or you have some discovery phase. Okay? You present a product, you present a proposal, and you close a deal. We believe in simplifying things. Simple is shorter. So what I'm talking about is what you can do to move through your process predictably every time. So you're not having to think and create all the time and just wing it. Vicky Prince, agreed. How long do you need to do it for? My CEO won't allow more than 3 months. He doesn't believe it works. Okay, well, I could tell you for sure that Periscope has landed us the opportunity to do multi-million-dollar contracts. A lot of the contracts that we get, people are finding out about Grant on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. See, the reason why your CEO doesn't believe it work is because it hasn't worked for him yet. He hadn't made a commitment to it yet. It's just like anything. It's just like building any business, right? You don't start a business today and start winning. You've got to put in the time. You've got to build the audience. You have to build the following. You got to pay your dues, man. You got to do the work, right? An audience just doesn't say, "Hey, Vicky's the best" overnight. You've got to show up every day and continue to prove it to them. Any tips on Twitter? Be frequent. You got to be there all the time. You got to commit to it. Be there all the time. Joseph, where at in Italy? You already have my info on the emails I sent you. I'll have to get reconnected with you. Venice, Florence, Rome, and Positano. Okay, let's see. I'm getting up every day at 5:30 a.m. to study on Cardone U, but it's difficult to remember everything. I'm taking notes while watching videos, but it's difficult. What do you suggest? Man, you just got to persist. I don't know what else to tell you. There's a lot that happens in a process. What I would focus on is one area at a time. So like the way that we work with people, like when we're training a staff, okay, we will work on, let's just say, problem 1. Okay? So we're going to work with problem 1. I think Robert's going to get me a marker, maybe. I don't know if you can see that. But we got one problem right here. We're going to work on this problem right here. There you go. Yeah. Okay? So let's say this is problem 1. We're going to work on problem 1, okay? We're going to practice. We're going to drill. We're going to role play. We're going to work on problem 1 over and over and over again until we got it. And then we're going to go to problem 2. So let's just say that this is your intro. This is the intro for your sales process. How you open your process. You greet the customer. You're practicing your greeting here. You're practicing handling objections here. You're practicing telling your story here. You're role-playing this until you got it stone cold. You could wake up. So I'll throw a cold bucket of ice water at 2 o'clock in the morning on you, and you're going to wake up, and you're going to be like, thanks so much. This is Jarrod. I'm calling from Grant Cardone's office. We help businesses like yours increase sales 30% in less than 90 days. I need 5 minutes to show you how it works in front of a computer. Okay, so you're going to work out your intro there. Then you're going to introduce step 2. This is the second problem. So problem 2, you're going to spend time learning, developing, role-playing. You're going to freaking master step 2, all right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to start back from the beginning. And you're going to go back and you're going to role-play the whole process, step 1 and 2, right? So this is going to be fact-finding, let's just say. Okay? So now I've got the introduction, I've got fact-finding mastered, right? And then I'm going to go to step 3, which is presenting. And this is going to start getting small. And then I'm going to drill and role play and go over this till I got it backwards and forwards and I'm doing the perfect product presentation every time. And then I'm going to go back to the beginning and I'm going to start role playing and practicing the whole process over and over and over again. That's the way we train people. That's the way that the method that we use. If you've ever taken dance lessons before, that's exactly how they do it. They introduce a little small segment. They introduce a small little segment, and then you master that, and then they add another piece, and then you start from the beginning, and you do it all over again. So it's really important to get the repetition in, and you got to cycle back through all the way to the beginning and continue to role play the whole cycle so that you don't move on and then lose the information that you previously learned. Okay? So I hope that helps out, Joseph. You just have to it's not just about consuming information. You have to have a process for it. So that's what we do when we work with sales teams is we build that little process along the way. Let's see. Sydney MacGyver. How do you keep the customer's full attention during the sales process? Well, you got to get them engaged. If you're doing all the talking, you're going to have issues in the deal. If you're doing all the talking, the customer is going to get disengaged. If you're doing all the talking, you're not going to learn anything about your customer. You're not really selling at that point. You're just presenting. You're presenting. Because in order to sell, you have to have information. I have to know what your problem is. I have to know what you like. I have to know what you don't like. I have to know what's worked. I have to know what hasn't worked, right? I have to know what you've tried in the past before. I got to know so much information, and I got to consolidate that into the pitch. So, and it's important to ask those little feeler questions to get people back engaged. What do you like best about what you've seen so far? Great question to ask to get somebody back engaged in the process. So we've got Brock on the phone from Idaho, and we're gonna go to Brock in a second here. CEO Drew, what's the best way to prospect to larger companies? I've been prospecting small businesses and have gotten some success, but I'm ready to take it up to another level. I just don't know how to get in front of larger prospect. Any ideas? Yes, I've got ideas. Pick up the phone. That's the idea. That's the idea of the day. Dude, it's easy. It takes just as much creativity and energy to pick up the phone to call the guy that owns the dry cleaner down the street as it does to pick up the phone and call the CEO of Coke. A cola. It's the truth, right? Now, the bigger company you get, the more layers they have and the more difficult it'll be, but you have to freaking persist. You got to start at the top and work your way down. That's one thing we always do. We're going to make a call, we're going to call. If we don't get a hold of somebody, we don't talk to somebody, we're going to leave a message for the owner, and then we're going to go to the president. We're going to call the president, leave a message, call back, call the vice president. Leave a message, call back, call the director of sales. Leave a message, call back, talk to the freaking sales manager. You got to cover people up. And you want to start from the top down, because if the president you get the president's ear, what they'll do is they'll refer you to the person that you need to talk with. And that coming from a superior. If Grant tells me to talk to somebody, I don't care who it is, I talk to him. It's my job. It's my job to follow the instructions and the orders of the boss, right? So better that, working your way from top down than from bottom up. So hopefully that'll help you out. Jay, let's actually go to Brock. Let's go to Brock on the phone. Brock from Idaho, what's going on, dude?
Not much. Thanks for having me on, Jarrod.
Yeah, dude, thanks for calling in. I appreciate you joining our deal today. We're talking about the sales process today. What questions do you have?
I think I'm losing the people I'm calling in my sales process not being tight enough. And, I'll explain. I'm in staffing, so I'm calling hiring managers to pitch our staffing services, right? The hiring managers are the ones who are going to benefit from talented employees, from good resumes, that kind of thing. After pitching a candidate to them that they could potentially hire for their team, we either get pushed down to HR to deal with, contracts and different things, or to try and avoid getting pushed down to HR, they just don't know where to go. They don't know how to partner with us. Is that a sales process issue, do you think, or is that more of not controlling the sale enough and kind of leading them toward how we can partner together?
Yeah, I mean, look, like in our company, like if I had the perfect, if you had like the perfect salesperson for me, right? I wouldn't call and ask, hey, who does your hiring? I'm going to go directly to the person who runs that deal. So if you're bringing on salespeople, I'm going to go to the freaking director of sales, VP of sales, president of the company. Hey, I scoured the earth. I learned all about your company. I learned all about what you guys are about. And I scoured the earth to find the perfect person for your company. And you wouldn't believe it. I actually found him. Gotta get you introduced, have to bring them to you. Hands down, this could be the perfect hire that you've been looking for. And maybe don't start with the hiring manager. Maybe start with the person above that, like I was saying earlier, and then work your way down. Because executives are always looking for good people. And if you reach out and you're pestering, following up, professionally, if you're freaking banging on the president of the company with one person, one idea, not some blanket like, hey, some esoteric, hey, are you interested in potentially exploring the opportunity of finding good hires for a low cost? Dude, you got to get freaking specific to make them think that you've spent time, you've done the research, you've freaking busted your back to find the perfect candidate for them based on who their company is, where they're going, what they're about, what they're doing. So it brings value to what you're doing. So they don't think you're just making a cold call, right? We have people there's a few people that have done that really well with us. And they definitely stand out. Even if we don't do business with them, I'm always reminded like, oh yeah, hey man, there's that guy. And he took the time to really go out and create something specific for us. And it makes me think, I'm sure he's trying to sell other people's stuff, but it makes me think he actually invested time in putting something together for us. Gary Dobbs, thanks man, I'm talking about you. So I would say dude, go the next level up. Freaking get your pitch so juicy. Get your pitch so juicy that the president of the company is going to be like, dude, I gotta talk to Brock. Brock, who do you got? I don't even hire people here. I leave that to another department. But dude, you got somebody so good. I gotta learn more about him, dude. How can we connect? Think like that, man. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the chat here. Some great questions here today, guys. How do you keep the customer's full attention during the sales process? I think I already got that one. Larger companies. What do you do when you're cold calling businesses who receive 20 calls a day and are ready to hang up before you can get past the intro? How do you set yourself aside or get the client to listen for 20 seconds? More often that not, I can close a client who will listen to me, but getting a client who will listen without hanging up is very tough. Okay, so what Jay's saying here is he's struggling to even get past the first 20 seconds. We have the same business. We have the same problem in our business. We're calling people who every single day are receiving God only knows how many phone calls, how many emails of people trying to sell them something. Okay. The most important part of our call, the critical point of our call, is the first 20 seconds. Every single morning, we role play the first 20 seconds. We got guys that they've been with us for 3 years, and every single day we role play the same thing, the first 20 seconds. We when we train people and we bring people on, we move through the whole deal and make them get comfortable with But dude, we role play. We have to be perfect in the first 20 seconds. No mistakes, no hesitation. That is the most important part of the phone call. Without getting past that, dude, you have no fact-finding, rapport building, discovery, presentation, proposal, no write-up, no close, nothing. You've got to put importance on that to the point where you're like, every single day, we role play it for a half hour. It's very important. So increase the amount of reps that you have. I got guys that have probably role played our greeting the first 20 seconds of literally thousands of times, thousands upon thousands of times, maybe even more, maybe millions. Just saying. Okay, let's see here. Upstate Josh, I don't have a question, but wanted to say Cardone U is awesome. Made another $2,500 on my side hustle for a total of $7,500 since joining a month and a half ago. Boom, my man, Upstate Josh. The layers are difficult for you. I'll do that. Okay, perfect. What CRM software would you recommend for a small business of 15 to 20 staff? If you want to email me, Jarrod@grantcardone.com, I'll get you set up with the folks that we use. But look, the sales process, circle back around to the sales process. What is your process? Take the time. What is your introduction? Okay. What questions? What are your fact-finding questions? Step 1, intro. Step 2, fact find. Step 3, present. Step 4, propose. Step 5, close. What is your intro that you're going to use every time? And in ours, it's the cold call introduction, dude, is the same thing every time. It's a short little pitch, okay? But now we also have an introduction when we're doing a demo. So I'm going to throw a little curveball in there too, because there's a couple sales that take place in most cases. If you're B2B outbound sales, dude, the first sale happens just to get the person on the phone and get an appointment. Get them to listen to you, okay? The second sale happens once you get them on the phone for a presentation, and you got to start the whole process all over again. You know, Jay, you're probably not doing a lot of fact finding on a call when you got somebody that wants to hang up on you. You're probably getting 1 or 2 questions in, and they're either going to say, okay, call me on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, or they're going to say, click. So, you got to make sure you have the right expectations of the process that you have. So, dude, in our pitch process, like your intro has to be some type of story about how you got where you were and why you're such a perfect fit for their company, or you've got such a great product. And then you got to freaking start dropping into the questions that are going to load you up, those fact-finding questions. Load me up. Do the same questions every time, okay? About fact-finding, there's a little process you can follow. People buy things because they solve problems, right? I think that we can say that is kind of a blanket statement. They buy things because they want to solve a problem. They want to increase sales. They want to save money. They want to hire more people faster. They want to get better results on the web. They want more leads. They want whatever. They're solving a problem, right? So when you're asking questions, okay, you want to do 2 things with your question, because when you're asking people questions, your initial question isn't always as important as the follow-up question. Let me tell you why. The first question that you ask somebody is going to be sort of your setup question, okay? So that's going to be a question that's going to bring the problem up, okay? The second question that you ask, the follow-up, is where you tie that problem back down to your solution. Like, for example, we sell online sales training, okay? So, hey, John, tell me a little bit about what you're doing for training right now, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hey, would your managers benefit from having more frequent sales meetings? You're having sales meetings twice a week. Would your managers benefit from having more frequent sales meetings? Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, how valuable would it be if your managers had enough content to run a sales meeting every day for the next 3 years without ever repeating a single message or piece of content? Oh, wow, dude, that'd be awesome. See, I'm talking about my product yet. I haven't showed him yet, but I'm setting him up. They want to have more frequent sales meetings, and we have a way to get them a sales meeting every day for 365 days a year for 3 years, or whatever the deal is. But you sort of got to ask a question, hey, how often are you having sales meetings? We're having them twice a week. Okay, good. Would your manager see value if they could have a different sales meeting every day of the week for the next 3 years without repeating a single segment of content? So think in stages when you're asking questions. Don't necessarily ask just one question. Make sure you have a follow-up question to it that really gets them to freaking lock down in on something. Presenting the product, right? That we're talking step 3 now. Get in a groove to have the same presentation every time. Oftentimes customers will try to drag you off of this and they'll interrupt the process, but you got to get freaking so good. I got a guy that's been reading the same script so much, like he literally could go word for word on a 3-page script because he's gone through it so many times. I mean, every morning in the car, every night when he goes home, all throughout the day, comes in on the weekends. Dude, he could go through this script without even having it in front of him. The 4th step, proposal, writing figures. Now, let me tell you, we've actually flipped to where we propose numbers before we present the product. So we present figures before we present the product. And the reason we do that is because it takes everybody out of mystery, right? Have you ever like tried to go buy something and the whole time you're like, how much does this cost? How much does this cost? How much does this cost? How much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost? And you're kind of afraid to ask in the beginning. You don't know if it's, you don't know if it's the right thing, right time, and then you're just sitting there freaking waiting. And then you're like, well, maybe it's 500, maybe it's 800. Man, I don't know if I'd pay more than 5. You're going through all this stuff in your freaking head, right? You sound like a nut job. And then you're like, okay. If it's worth more, if it's more than $400, I'm not going to buy it. And then they're like, boom, it's $900. You're like, oh, I just spent all this time here with you just to find out it's way more money than I would ever spend. Now, if you flip that, if the let's just say your in a store buying a pair of shoes or something, and the associate goes, "Hey, look, this is a $900 pair of shoes. I know it's a lot of money. Everybody says that, but let me tell you why. And let me tell you this, and let me tell you that. Why don't you just put the thing on? Feel it. Feel how. Go walk around. Take a couple laps. See how you feel. See, yeah. See, look at yourself in the mirror. You see how good that. See now, like you've breached the money thing. People are getting more comfortable with the idea. They're actually trying to make sense of that number instead of make up one on their own. It's getting deep now. And then the fifth step, dude. You got to be able to close the deal. Have you seen enough to make a decision? Have you seen enough to justify the investment? Are you ready to roll right now? When can we get you started? Got to be able to shut the deal down and then handle the objections. So that's our process, okay? 5 steps. Greet, fact find, present, propose, close. You can also greet, fact find, propose, present, close, depending on the product that you're selling. Let's go to Taryn from Tampa. Taryn from Tampa.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, awesome. Is this Jarrod?
This is Jarrod.
Jarrod, awesome. I love what you do, and I'm calling in today I'm hoping you can give me a couple tips. I'm a car salesman. I'm new in the job. Just been calling orphaned customers, reactivating accounts, and I'd like to get on social media, Periscope, Twitter. So I'm thinking, what kind of content can I do? I can talk about the latest incentives, sales, but how can I leverage my personality and in such a way on a Periscope daily?
Yeah, maybe you've got to create something that people are actually interested in. That's related to an automobile. It doesn't have to be so specific that it's something related to the product that you sell, but you need to become a resource that like anybody who would purchase any car would be like, dude, I got to call Taryn and figure out like what's the right thing to do. Should I lease? Should I buy? Should I service my car at the dealership or should I go to Jiffy Lube? When is a good time to buy? What time of the month? When are incentives the best? How much is the manufacturer incentivizing the process, the purchase right now? Like you just have to educate people, man. Like there are people every single day. You're in Tampa, dude. Every single person in Tampa, for the most part. I mean, dude, they've got a car. I mean, people have to get around, right? So now it's like, what would people that would need a car? What would they want to know about it? When to buy used, when to buy new. When to lease.
I love it, Jarrod. I appreciate it.
Focus on stuff like that, man. It'll give you a little track to run on. Just Google everything associated with cars, financing, advertising, buying wholesale, buying retail, buying from Craig, whatever, dude. Just come up with something, right? Come up with a list of 100 different things that you could talk about, and then do a different Periscope or a different post every single day. I think that'll definitely give you a good start. Let's see here. Would you recommend hiring an experienced sales rep or train your own? It depends on what you're selling, man. I mean, I like hiring experienced people for what we have because we have a product that's, frankly, it's really hard to sell. So, bringing people in that don't have experience, it just the training onboarding path is like really long. So, depending on the complexity of your sale, I think that you could go either way. I know some companies that will not hire anybody in a certain industry if they have experience, because they bring bad habits with them. And particularly the more experienced they are, they've been in the business for 15 years or 20 years, and over that course of time, the business has changed a lot, but the person hasn't. Then what they'll do is they'll just say, hey, look, this isn't a very complicated thing to do. We're going to take training. We're going to bring that all in-house. We're going to raise people up. We're going to nurture people. We're going to take them from maybe having not sold anything before in their life to, being able to manage a transaction. So I would say it depends on the complexity of the sale and your product. I'm the senior director with Pure Romance, and I just wanted to say thank you for this webinar. It's just started, but it's been incredible so far. Awesome, Jessica. Thanks for your viewership here on the deal, and congratulations on signing up for Cardone U. How do you get the contact number of the owner or president? Do you start at their main number and ask for the owner even if you don't know their name? Good question, Jarrod. So you just got to get creative. Sometimes a direct number is hard to find. There's different data companies out there that provide you with the information, sometimes like a Seamless Contacts or a You Know Me. .com. And sometimes these different products are able to get you direct contact information, direct emails. But dude, old school works. Google, phone, try to figure out how to get a hold of somebody. Gordon Gekko can be contacted, right? From Wall Street. Remember Wall Street movie? Gordon Gekko, right? Charlie Sheen's Bud Fox. Dude, he's freaking calling the guy every day for like 6 months, and finally his receptionist puts him through. Right? At some point, you can, the water beats the rock, but there are technologies out there that can help you get that information. Should we adjust our tonality and pace to the person we're speaking with, or should we keep our energy high and at a rapid pace? No, I think be you, be natural. I think tone and pace is important, but I don't think you need to try to be something that you're not. Be clear, be concise. Be up tone, be happy, smile, make eye contact. But I don't think you really need to talk really fast if that's not what you're comfortable doing. You know what I mean? Right? Have you ever worked with a sports team? What would you suggest as new ideas to sell season tickets? Well, if you're selling to companies, it's just a normal sales cycle, man. Try to find creative ways. Sales organizations are always looking for spiffs to give out. So maybe if a company has a really large sales team, they can use them as incentives, client appreciation, things like that. Let's see here. How do I get to the 5-step sales process course? The courses are broken down individually. It's not all packaged together as the 5-step sales process. So depending on the platform that you're on, it's either going to be called the sales process or road to the sale. So I need more prospects for network marketing. What are some ways you recommend keeping the pipeline full in this industry? You got to maximize your power base, your friends of your friends of your friends. Who knows who's looking for the opportunity. You got to be willing to make cold calls. You got to be able to do events and run events in your area. One of the biggest things that people do in network marketing is they have unrealistic expectations of how fast it's going to go. 99.999, I mean, there are a few exceptions, but 99.999% of people that make money in network marketing don't do it until they've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years. So you've got to understand, like, it's a process. My wife's doing it right now with Beachbody. She's been doing the deal for like 6 months or something like that, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, how come it's not bigger than it is right now? And she's doing way better than most. And I'm like, you just got to stick with it. After 6 months of working with Grant, I wasn't making money either. But I'm looking back now and I'm like, damn, it was a good thing I hung around. So stick in there. Just be consistent every day. You got to push every day. You got to swing the bat not knowing if there was a ball pitched or not. You know what I mean? You just got to step up to the plate and keep swinging. Bajira, 13. I work as a sales officer for an accounting firm. My question, which way of prospecting is better? Going out and networking places like hotels, seminars, etc., or looking for potential clients online and just call? You got to do both. Don't limit yourself. You're going to meet people. I'll meet different people going here to the Chamber of Commerce meetings for Miami than I will picking up the phone and calling somebody in California. So you just got to use every resource available to you. Really great mastermind today. A lot of great content and meat. Awesome. I appreciate that, Maximus. How would you do an event with a window cleaning business? How would I do an event with a window cleaning business? Clarify your future with next level window cleaning. Free window cleanings in every neighborhood across the country. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one a little bit. Let's see here. Your thoughts on tonality, says Marshall Wilkins. I'm very concentrated on my tonality, especially in the intro and close. Outside of the 100-plus closes which I've devoured, delivering the proper tonality, they're 10x more effective. Tonality to me is the secret weapon. Thoughts? Yeah, I think it's important, but I think sometimes people put too much importance on it, I think you just have to be real with people. When things become overproduced, I mean, I definitely take pauses when I say stuff when I want to make an impact, Because it sticks. I don't know how much my tone really increases or my tone decreases. I don't know how much my inflection really changes or it doesn't change. Sometimes when you bring it down a little bit, like, hey, look, man, I've been there before. Believe me, I've been there before, okay? But when I was in your position, I found myself asking myself 3 questions. You mind if I share them with you? Number 1, it's like, is this the person I want to do business with? Number 2, is this the company that I want to do business with? And number 3, can I afford it? Now, if those questions are the same questions you're asking yourself, could you say yes to all those? Or not? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Pick up the phone, Larissa Terry. Good work. Is there a chance you or someone you know can help me with creating specific pitches? Of course. There's a script in the cold call module. We also have a section on cold calling. Don't see it up there yet. We have a section on cold calling where you can actually build your own outbound script. It says basically insert your greeting here, insert your big claim here, insert your qualifying questions here, lock down the appointment, and then end the call. So we kind of step it out for you. Who do we got on the phone? Let's take him. Hector, let's take him. Going to the phones. Hector from Texas.
What's up, buddy?
You tell me, my man.
Well, I'm trying to look for the masters and ask the right questions, man. Am I really in the right industry to make money for sales?
What do you do?
I sell alarms for houses, security.
And so what's your question?
Is it the right market? I mean, I've heard of people that make 6-figure salaries, but what is it that I really have to do? Or you guys are familiar with that alarm industry?
Yeah, no, man. We know a lot of people in the alarm industry. ADT or
that's who I work for.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, look, anything you commit to and go all in with, you'll be successful with. And I know that sounds kind of foofy, but it's the truth. Like when you get your A cubed in line, and by A cubed I mean attitude, approach, and action. When all 3 of those things are in, you're gonna win. And if you're looking right now and you're saying like, dude, it's not working for me right now. Like I'm not making money. Other people are. Like what's my deficiency here? Ask yourself, A cubed, what's out? Do you have a good attitude?
Yes, sir. I mean, I've made money. I've made anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 in a week, but I mean, it just slopes. It's either up, down, you know, so am I really in the right market? Should I look for other sales job? I want to be there.
Well, I mean, like again, look, attitude. Do you have a great attitude every single day?
I do.
Okay. Do you have the right approach? Is it working with customers? When you get to the door and you knock on the door, is it working?
I don't know. I mean, it does sometimes, and sometimes it don't. So I'm in this by myself. I'm an independent person.
Yeah.
Do I need to look in for a better approach somewhere else?
How many doors do you knock on every day?
On a day, I say about 20 doors.
I would say that you're probably about 80 to 120 short of what you should be doing.
Oh, okay.
Like big time. Like you're missing the last level of A cubed big time, the action piece.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. You need to be freaking going out at 9 o'clock in the morning and not coming home until 5 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at night, freaking just dripping sweat because you've been freaking banging doors so hard. If you're making $2,000 a week and you're only knocking on 20 doors, I know people that are going to at least 100 doors a day. Mm-hmm. Like minimum, like absolutely minimum. And those are the guys. I mean, dude, I know people in that business that are in their 20s that are making $250,000 a year.
Oh my God, I want to be that person.
Dude, well then go knock on more doors, bro. What are you doing right now on the phone with me? Go knock some doors.
All right, man. Appreciate
all right, bro.
That.
Be good. So look, today's mastermind was about process. I love all the questions. We want to get this engagement from you. We're doing this for you. We came here for you this week. We're coming here next week, the week after that, every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. We were a little late today. We had E.T. the hip hop preacher in the office today. You guys got to check out that Power Player. It's going to be badass. But dude, we come here every week because we want to help you. Like Hector trying to figure out, oh man, I got to go talk to more people. He probably wasn't even thinking that. He was thinking that he had to go somewhere else to make his deal work. Dude, he was making 20 calls a day. You ain't going to do nothing with that. You might as well flip a coin. You know, am I going to get up or am I not? Am I going to stay in bed all day or am I going to get up? So look, every week we're here to bring you help. We want to see you in the chat. We want you to call in. You can view this online, grantcardonetv.com/mastermind. And we'll see you back next week, same time, same place, to help you get your sales game on.